oversee the management of the district. We are responsible for approving budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and to listen to reports from the superintendent. We are not here to make administrative or management decisions pertaining to the daily operations of the district. This is the responsibility of the superintendent. In compliance with the State Government Code on Open Meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. This is a meeting in the public, not a meeting of the public, and as our guests, you are welcome to observe and listen. These proceedings are being video and audio recorded and will become part of Judson's permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that these proceedings are recorded accurately, I may have to ask for order periodically should I notice that disruptions are interfering with our recording capabilities. Once again, I extend to each of you a sincere welcome from the entire school board. Thank you for your interest in Judson ISD. We have established a quorum, and I will call roll. Mr. Diaz?
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Here.
Ms. Canoyer?
Here.
And Ms. King?
Shatanya King, present.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, present.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, present.
And I'm Renee Prichelle, present. And it's been a while since we've had our entire board sitting at the dais. I'm glad to see everyone. And to my left, my immediate left, is our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeanette Ball.
Welcome.
At this time, would you please stand for the invocation and the pledges of allegiance?
Thank you. If I could get everyone to bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you collectively today, asking that for your continued blessing on our school board, our superintendent, our senior staff, our principals, administration, our teachers, our custodians, our bus drivers, every faculty and staff in the district, God, and on our community and students. We would ask that you bind every sense of confusion, every technical glitch that could come up on Monday as we prepare for our first day of remote learning, God. And we would ask that you would be with us in all the decisions we make this evening. All these things we ask and pray in Jesus' name, amen. If we could turn towards the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated.
This time is provided for citizens to address the board on issues or concerns. A person may speak one time for a period of 3 minutes. Presentations shall be informative only. No board actions will be taken. A complaint or a charge against an officer or employee of the district is not allowed in open session. Complaints and concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. At this time, we would like to start with Vanessa Garza, 233 Willow Branch.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I sure will.
Her concern is COVID-19 safety.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ball and members of the board. I appreciate you allowing me to voice my concerns this evening. My name is Vanessa Garza. I'm a proud Judson ISD teacher and AFT union member. As the COVID-19 numbers continue, we see more deaths each day. We ask you to reconsider the plan of opening our schools for face-to-face instruction on September 28th. TEA COVID-19 guidelines are changing every day. We could allow for virtual learning for the first 8 weeks of school, and this plan would provide the county some time to see if there was a decrease in COVID-19 cases. San Antonio Metro Health metrics still show San Antonio in the red, and face-to-face instruction is not recommended at this time. What is Judson ISD going to do to keep teachers, staff, and students safe? We cannot allow students and educators to get sick and possibly die because we're being forced to begin in-person instruction before we're truly ready. Last board meeting, Dr. Fields modeled all the great cleaning supplies and PPE teachers were getting, and that has not happened. Some teachers received a spray bottle and paper towels on the first day. Other teachers received an empty bottle or told to share with the class next door. No hand sanitizer at any school has been distributed that we are aware of. When we ask for hand sanitizer, we are being told we do not have bottles to put it in. We need hand sanitizer in every classroom to keep the virus from spreading. We can't ration these materials as they are essential to ensure the stop and spread of COVID-19. We also have campuses that are encouraging students to show up on Monday, August 24th, even though it is virtual-only instruction. It is not safe to have students on campus. We are already getting positive COVID cases with staff members on Judson campuses, and staff members are coming down with symptoms. This is before students even arrive. After a staff member has tested positive, we are being told operations will continue as usual. What will have to happen to see some changes in how COVID-19 positive cases are being handled? I'm asking you to allow teachers and staff to teach from home or come in under rotating schedules under COVID-19 community spread decreases and our positivity rate continues to come down. Most recently, Edgewood ISD announced that students will be remote through October 9th. We're asking you to please keep all staff and students safe by planning for remote instruction for 8 weeks. Please require all students to wear face coverings in JISD when face-to-face instruction starts. SAISD has already mandated this. This will ensure protection for both students and teachers. We asked you at the last board meeting what would happen if staff members get COVID-19 or exposed or have to self-quarantine for 14 days. The only answer we're getting is we could file for the CARE Act. Employee Services is not taking care of employees that are currently experiencing symptoms. They are not getting straight answers. If we are required to go back in person instruction, then the district needs to support us and take care of us. Please take care of your Judson ISD employees. Please give us the paid sick days we would need to allow us to work from home if we get COVID-19 or get exposed and have to self-quarantine. Finally, we've asked to be a part of a reopening committee. Why was our request ignored? Please utilize your valuable Judson ISD employees to be a part of the decision-making process. Our
Thank you,
lives
Ms. Garza.
depend on it. Thank you.
Next, we have Lydia. You've told us your name before. Panini? Thank you.
Pandini. Hi, good evening, board members and Dr. Ball. My name is Lydia Pandini, and I'm a teacher in the district, and I initially wasn't going to be at this meeting in person. I had a Zoom meeting with my parents, the parents of my students, a second Zoom meeting with my parents because they want a lot of clarity right now. They want a lot of reassurance. They need a lot of guidance, which I'm happy to do, but I did reschedule that because I felt like it was so important to be here. I tried to call in. I was 30 minutes late. Last month, I will say that I emailed my comments and they were not read. What I would like to address is an issue that I think is paramount to our community, the employees, in the larger Converse area. And so I teach at a large elementary. Copperfield, Rolling Meadows, Wortham, Oaks, and Escondido are huge schools. We're talking over 50 classrooms, huge for an elementary school. And that's a lot of square footage. So our custodial allotment is 5 custodians. And we've asked for more, but we're told no. So there's that PR video that went out of the custodians sanitizing. Well, they're being asked to do much more work when they already had more than they could do. And currently, we're down one. One has resigned. And so we have 4 custodians. They have moved this furniture. They are sanitizing. They're doing everything they can to keep us safe. And they simply, they're being run ragged, quite frankly. And I don't see how we can ensure the community, ensure our staff, that we are prioritizing safety if we don't have the personnel to keep them safe. And I know they would be here themselves, but our head custodian is still at work. They're working and working and working, and I would like to ask that it be prioritized, that new custodians be hired, that we have a larger number, because when I speak to these individuals, they're not complaining, but they are maxed out, and being asked to do this extra work, they're happy to do it. They are taking pride, and they're wanting us to be safe. They're wanting to do everything they can, but they can't. And I ask, when we go back face to face, is it going to be the expectation that I sanitize my own classroom? I've been doing that for years. I teach kindergarten. We sanitize our classrooms. But we keep being asked to do more, and we were stretched to our we were already stretched before COVID happened. That's part of being a teacher. It's part of being a public servant. But now I'm being asked to teach virtually and in person. And I don't know where those hours are. I don't know where those minutes will come from. I don't know how in a day I will be able to do this. Honestly, just logistically, it doesn't work. And so if I'm also being expected to sanitize my room, I can't.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Thank you. Next, we have Carolina Rubio. PPE safety on campus.
Hello, good evening, JSD Board of Directors and Dr. Ball. I hope that you're all doing well, have health and a spirit. I'm really here just to request again that you all consider the teacher-to-student ratio distribution within our classrooms. We're currently in the red zone according to Metro Health expert Junda Wu, and that indicates that the ideal way of teaching is 100% virtual. She's anticipating it will be roughly 8 weeks before we're in the yellow zone, which enables what we're going to be doing in September 24th or September 28th on, more of a possibility. CDC has these recommendations that we only really work with students that are in a space that enables 6 feet social distancing. Currently, at least at Wagner High School, where I teach as an art teacher, we do not have desks. We have tables that are shared in common, 2 per long table. And my classes are currently totally maxed out. I have 34 kids, 30 kids. We're assuming that 50% are going to be virtual and 50% are going to neatly arrive to our classrooms, but that may not be, in fact, the distribution. It may be 18 or 20 students. We serve a demographic that is working poor and working class. And a lot of our parents do not have the luxury of having a babysitter stay with their child at home or of having any kind of supervision, taking care of their kid while they're working at home. We also know a lot of students are going to enter the workforce and then do the work that they can do in the evening. However, making it kind of a requirement really district-wide, at least till the end of the 2021 spring semester, that there's only 15 students maximum per class, would be really optimal for us as teachers. I love the students that I work with. I want to see them. I'm not trying to scapegoat them as a way to stay home for some kind of personal comfort. But we need to do this safely. We don't have enough data produced yet, because this is a very novel virus, to indicate that children are not super spreaders, or that young people cannot be the locus of spread. So I'm just asking that we work with the logic of science and the recommendations of experts in the medical field when making these really large decisions that affect thousands of lives. My mother has lupus, and I like to visit her at least once a month. And now I'm thinking I may have to mitigate those visits. She's already almost 80 years old, and she's had 2 broken arms. I would love to be available for her, but because of my profession, I may not be able to do that. I'm also just asking, too, that there be a way to not jeopardize teachers or penalize us for taking the mandated 4 days off for COVID quarantine, and that if we get a negative result, we lose that sick leave. We're going to need as many sick leave days as possible, because this Family First Coronavirus Response Act only gives us 10 days maximum. We can only use it once. So we all know that COVID recurs numerous times with symptoms, even though the person is marked as negative in the test. So we just need to have space to fully recover so we don't spread contagion. Also, teachers may stop reporting their contagion, exposure, and symptomology if they're not going to lose sick leave. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will now move on to the consideration of consent items. Oh, I'm so sorry, that is correct. Dr. Fields has about 3 of them.
Yes, ma'am. 3. The first one's dated August 19th. It says, "Good evening, Dr. Ball and Judson ISD school board members. My name's Rebecca Igu. I am proud to tell you that this is my 20th year teaching here in Judson Independent School District. I am also a member of Texas AFT, the American Federations of Teachers. I come to you tonight with some concerns. Currently, I have 27 students enrolled in my 2nd grade class. If I follow the suggestions of 6-foot social distancing guidelines, I can accommodate only 14 students in my classroom. According to the parent feedback, I have more than 14 students who want to return face-to-face. In addition, JISD is not requiring students under 10 to wear masks. How does this promote the safety of the students and of the staff? Additionally, we have been told that when the students do return to the classroom on September 28th, we will be teaching using a blended hybrid model. I have asked several times in my Canvas professional development if we would receive training on how to teach in a blended model, and no one knew the answer to my question. Therefore, I've asked that you provide specific answers to the following questions. Will JISD inform students that social distancing will not be enforced or will be enforced in my classroom once the children return face-to-face due to high enrollment numbers? Will teachers receive any training on how to teach the blended model prior to September 28th? How many schools in the district will be teaching using the blended model? Respectfully, Rebecca Igu." Next is another letter dated August 20th, 2020. "Dear Judson ISD School Board and District Leaders, we are the teachers and paraprofessionals at Copperfield Elementary, and we would like to thank you for your time and support during this pandemic. Since returning to school, we've realized our increased stress levels and concern for ourselves and others around us. We are following district protocols. Our administration is very vigilant and supportive of our safety needs and daily well-being. Yet, we all have some concerns regarding the COVID-19 protocols that have been established. For example, we are doing our electronic daily check-in and then realizing that there have been people calling in sick with symptoms listed on the daily check-in list. These personnel are then reporting to work the next day. It seems that the first question gives no options that allow for the answer no if it is related to something else. What if a person chooses to answer no regardless of if they have symptoms not only one day but over several days? Is this putting us at greater risk, especially if a person has suffered a combination of symptoms during the several days? The morning survey is susceptible to people not answering truthfully. If a person is in the building test positive, we would like to be informed, not by name, but be informed. We have the right to know what is happening in our surroundings. Here are some of the questions that are of high concern at this moment. Why do we have to use our earned sick leave and personal days before we qualify for the FFCRA? We will be out of days and will not have paid days left to take if one of our family members becomes sick. We will be receiving hazardous pay. Will we be receiving hazardous pay once students return to learn? When will the hand sanitizer stations be placed in the common areas? What exactly is the protocol if a student or staff member tests positive for the virus? Will those who have been in close contact with that person be required to stay home for 14 days? Will we be able to work from home, or will we be required to use our personal sick days? Will our questions be addressed and answered before the students return to school on the 8th for safe haven? Thank you for your help and support during these trying times. Cynthia Flores. And then finally, this is a forward for public comments. It says, "Good evening, Judson ISD board members. I would like to start by thanking each of you for your service to the Judson ISD community. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to our public education students. This evening, you will have the opportunity to endorse a candidate to the TASB Board of Directors, Position A, and I would greatly appreciate the support and endorsement from this board. I feel like I can bring a different perspective to the TASB board that would be beneficial to Region 20. Coming from a smaller school district, I understand some of the struggles that are unique to a smaller district. I also feel that the districts to the south and southwest of San Antonio will benefit. I will try my best to represent all of Region 20 boards. I look forward to hearing from you and assisting in any way that I can. I would also like to inform this board my term does expire in 2020, November. However, I did file for re-election and do not have any opponents this year. None of the board members seeking re-election have any opponents, and our election will be canceled by the board at a later date. I felt that you should be aware of this since it's been brought up in previous boards that my election was coming up. Once again, I thank each of you for all your countless hours spent as a Texas board member. Your time and consideration is greatly appreciated. Be safe, and thank you again, J.D. Rodriguez, Dilley ISD. That's concludes.
And that concludes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, at this time, I will read the consent items, and if there's anything that anyone would like to pull, just let me know. Item 4A, consider and take action regarding approving the minutes from the special meetings held on July 7th, August 6th, and the regular meeting that was held on July the 16th, 2020. B, consider and take action regarding approving the monthly financial information as of June 30th, 2020. C, consider and take action regarding approving the expenditures equal to or greater than $50,000. D, consider and take action regarding approving cash investment report for all the funds as of June 30th, 2020. E, consider and take action regarding approving the extension of the employee group health insurance benefits with United Health for the 2021 plan year. F, consider and take action regarding approving renewal rates for PCAT for the auto and liability coverage. G, consider and take action regarding approving the submittal for request for proposal 20-11, concrete paving or repairs. H, consider and take action regarding approving the submittal for request for proposal 20-12, asphalt paving for repairs. I, consider and take action regarding approving the ranking of the submittals for the request for competitive sealed proposal 2021 Kirby Middle School lighting project. J, do I need to read the whole thing? Consider and take action regarding approving the resolution approving the sale for real property described as 1 acre parcel of land out of the Antonio Amador survey. K, consider and take action regarding approving the certified list of appraisers for the 2020-2021 school year. L, consider and take action regarding approving the Texas Teachers Evaluation and Support System, the T-TESS, appraisal calendar for 2020-2021. M, consider and take action regarding approving the T-PES, which is the Principal Evaluation Support System, appraisal calendar. N, consider and take action regarding approving the optional flexible school day program for Judson High School, Wagner High School, Veterans Memorial, Judson Learning Academy, and Judson Early College Academy for the 2020-2021 school year.
Pull.
Okay. O, consider and take action regarding approving the Bexar County Juvenile Probation Center Memorandum of Understanding. P, consider and take action regarding approving a resolution regarding the district operations during the COVID-19 event. Q, consider and take action regarding approving College Board college readiness and success contract. At this time, is there a motion to vote on consent items A through M?
Madam President, can I pull F? Sorry.
You would like to pull F
Yeah.
on the auto and liability coverage? Okay. So is there a motion for items 4A through E, G through M, O through Q?
So moved as spoken into the record by our president, but may the record reflect that I'm abstaining on item O, as I have a conflict of interest as it relates to the juvenile board.
All right, so, yeah, you will just need, pardon me? So we can
Yes.
do that separately? All right, we are also going to pull item O, so let me just reiterate. We will be voting on items 4A through E, G through M, P, and Q. Is there a motion? The motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. I guess what we could do is a roll call. We'll start with Ms. King.
Ms. King, aye.
Ms. Eaton.
Aye.
Ms. Perez.
Lynette Perez, aye.
Ms. Canoyer.
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Jennifer Rodriguez, aye.
Mr. Diaz.
Rafael Diaz, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye. Motion passes unanimously for those items. Now we will go to item F, consider and take action regarding approving the rates for the auto and liability coverage. Mr. Diaz?
Just a quick question. I wanted to understand why the increase in the premium.
Dr. Ball?
It's probably because of accidents, but I'm going to ask Bill to say specifically.
Part of it is there was a 7% increase in the premium, but the big one was just because our ADA that we were insured under last year was 21,150, and this year we're renewing at 21,600.
That was it. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have a motion then for that item, please?
Yep. Motion.
For item F?
I'll second that motion for approval.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll start with Mr. Diaz.
Aye.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Jennifer Rodriguez, aye.
Ms. Canoyer.
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Ms. Perez.
Lynette Perez, aye.
Ms. Eaton.
Deborah Eaton, aye.
And Ms. King.
Shatanya King, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye. Motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to item N. And who pulled that one?
I think Ms. Eaton and myself did.
All righty. We'll start with Ms. Eaton.
Okay. This one is the one that's approving that optional flexible school program. Is this the same, excuse me,
No problem.
is this the same one that we were talking about last month and we said that we would approve it in case it became something we could do? Or is this something totally different?
Yes, ma'am. This one is totally different. So what this allows is our high schools to have flexible time. So this allows, let's say, a student that needs to go to work. So it allows them to have flexibility in the days that they attended, the times that they attend. The one that you're talking about will come up a little bit later under the discussion items.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, we currently have had for 6 years already, and all our high schools participate in it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
I'm sorry, you said we've had it for 6 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the one where students can move their schedule then?
They can come and go at different times.
Is that going to affect the new what is it, 5 by 5 in any way?
No, ma'am, it
For
doesn't.
the student, not us, but for the student, will they be affected?
Right. It's for certain students that need this flexibility. We apply for this, so the state allows us to give them this flexibility.
Okay, but they ask for permission, they go through the counselor?
Oh, absolutely.
And-
It's built into their schedule.
Oh, okay, thank
Yes.
you, ma'am.
Mhm. No problem.
Is there a motion for item N? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Well,
Ms. Perez.
my questions were answered by Dr. Ball's response.
Okay.
to Ms. Eaton, so I'll make a motion to approve item N.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. We'll start with Ms. King.
Shatanya King, aye.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, aye.
Ms. Canoyer?
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Jennifer Rodriguez, aye.
Mr. Diaz?
Rafael Diaz, aye.
And Renee Pichelle, aye. And that also passes unanimously. Item O, consider and take action regarding approving the Bexar County Juvenile Probation Center Memorandum of Understanding. And on this item, we don't necessarily need to have any explanation.
Unless you would like
um,
some.
Does anybody need any? It's just that Ms. Perez would like to recuse herself.
I
So-
move to approve.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Oh, go ahead.
We'll start with Mr. Diaz.
Rafael Diaz, aye.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Jennifer Rodriguez, aye.
Ms. Canoyer?
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Ms. King?
Shatanya King, aye.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, abstain.
Renee Pichelle? Aye. And motion passes 6, approve, 1 abstention. Okay. Item 5, discussion and consideration of action items. 5A, consider and take possible action regarding approving a waiver to extend the start of the school 2020-2021 year transition beyond the 4-week limit. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. This is the one that Ms. Eaton and I were talking about earlier. So the state currently gives you the 4-week limit. Our 4 weeks for Judson ISD would be the week of August the 24th, August the 31st, September the 7th, September the 14th, and September the 21st. That goes into week 5. In addition, if it becomes necessary, we would have this waiver already to possibly say that it's not safe and we are not ready to come back on September the 28th. So the process is that the state asks you to have board approval for this waiver.
Ms. Eaton?
I'm sorry. Okay. And just because I want to make sure everybody understands
Yes.
what's happening.
Yes.
When you say come back, you're saying remain online
Right.
or physically come in?
Okay, so.
Because they're physically not coming in for until the 28th, right?
Okay,
So you wouldn't say physical then, because they're not there. So
What?
physical would be face-to-face.
Right,
when
so
they
No,
do
I'm talking
come-
about a butt in a seat in a school.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
face-to-face.
so let me start from the beginning. When we met the last time, our plan is to start 100% virtual. On September the 8th is the first time that some students could come face-to-face, meaning their body could be in the building.
Right.
Those are for some certain students that meet those categories. We will continue to monitor, for the next several weeks. If everything is good, then on September the 28th is when the parents would have their choice of continuing with virtual or coming face-to-face. This accomplishes that if we decide in late September, we decide September 28th, we are not going to be able to provide face-to-face because it's not safe, we already have our waiver done.
Okay, so that's what, okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other discussion? Well, may we please have a motion for this item?
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Mr. Diaz, what say you?
Aye.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Ms. Canoyer?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye. Motion passes unanimously. 5B, consider and take possible action regarding approving the endorsement of the candidate for the TASB, Texas Association of School Board of Directors. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. Several individuals have reached out to us, and some have specifically reached out to board members. So this is the opportunity for the board to discuss who you would like to nominate.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to, Mr. Diaz?
Yep. So I'd like to nominate and ask my colleagues for the consideration of Luis Fernandez. He's out of Uvalde ISD, but he's a student over at UTSA. He's in his third year of his doctorate program. He's been on his board for 4 years. And he also works at Southwest Texas Junior College. Incredibly important because his understanding of higher ed, but specifically with those learners that are in non-traditional pathways, which is what he works in, technical, business-oriented, IBEST programming, would allow him to really start marrying his K-12 experience, advocating for, multiple pathways into post-secondary, not necessarily our baccalaureate programs, but those adult learners that need a different pathway, associate's program, credentialing, stackable credentials, so on and so forth. So, I think he'd be a wonderful representative, and
And if I
And I'd
could
like
add,
your-
his wife is also a public school teacher.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she is an excellent bilingual teacher.
So that concludes my statement.
Any questions for Mr. Diaz? I don't know either of these people, and all we have in front of us is all that I know about them. So if Mr. Diaz has a recommendation, I do not mind supporting his recommendation. So is there a motion then?
I motion to approve Luis Fernandez as Judson ISD's representative to the TASB board for position A, I believe.
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
The motion has been moved and seconded, and we'll start with Mr. Diaz.
Aye.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Ms. Canoyer?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, aye.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. King?
Shatanya King, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye, and Luis Fernandez gets our vote. Endorsement, unanimously. Item C, 5C, local district policy update. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. What this is about is having to change our policy. Last spring, when COVID first started, there were several teachers that had already applied for a waiver and had their waiver. We want to be able to honor those waivers. So what it would be is that it would allow teachers who were approved for a T-test appraisal evaluation waiver for the 1920 school year to continue to be approved for that waiver. And then, of course, any new teachers, when I say, I don't mean brand new teachers, but any additional teachers that want to apply for the waiver, they could also be applying for the waiver. So it would extend the waiver 2 years without a T-test evaluation, if approved, resulting in truly an appraisal every 3 years. This is what we would like to recommend to the board for, in order to support all the things that our teachers do. We want to take one thing at least away from them.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Ball.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I've never had to deal with this type of evaluation, but if a teacher is like leaving the district or something, is this evaluation something that would be required for them to be received by another district? And if so, would you then do whatever it is that, necessary so that they could be received by another district? Am I making sense?
Absolutely. If a teacher requires or wants one, we would gladly do that. Most school districts will honor their previous one, the last one that they had, is what most school districts would honor. But if they needed something from us, we would gladly do their evaluation.
Okay, and then you just said something too that I just want to make sure I understand. You said something about first-time teachers?
I didn't mean first-time teachers. That's why I kind of hesitated. I was like using the wrong choice of word. I meant a teacher that did not previously have the waiver can still apply for the waiver. So thank you for correcting me on that. Thank you.
No, I'm not correcting you. I'm just getting clarification for me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the update as recommended.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded, and we'll start with Ms. Eaton.
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. King?
Shatanya King, aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, aye.
Mr. Diaz,
Rafael Diaz, aye.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Jennifer Rodriguez, aye.
Ms. Canoyer,
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye. Yay, motion passes unanimously. We really do need to give something back to the teachers. Item D, we will address in closed session, so we'll move on to item 6. Discussion, items and reports. Superintendent report construction. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, board members that were able to join us today. For the ones who couldn't, it's okay. You're going to get some great pictures. We took lots and lots of pictures. We're progressing very well with our construction. Veterans is looking amazing with their auditorium. So lots of construction still going on. I know all of you received a construction report. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions, but we'll be sending in the Friday notes lots of pictures.
Okay, very good. Policy update 115, affecting local policies. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. These are regular TASB policies that we get on a regular basis. This is just the first reading, just giving the board members time to look those over. They're rather thick.
Yes, yes. But we will have a second reading next month, and that's when we'll...
Yes, ma'am.
Item C, update on board advisory committees. There's not been any.
No, ma'am. We will after eventually start to have them on Zoom, but at this time, I feel that we have given more than enough for our teachers to participate in and to get accustomed to different things. So we're probably going to give them a good time just to get started.
Okay. Item D, update on board trainings or conferences. I don't have anything. Does any board member have anything? I know that we've gotten an email from Mrs. Holmes reminding us of TASA TASB in October, and she wants us to make sure that we let her know if we're interested. Only a couple of us have responded to her, so please make sure. Ms. Holmes, did you say by tomorrow?
Yes, please.
By tomorrow, you need to make a decision whether or not you're going to, it's all virtual, so whether or not you're going to participate so she can register us.
So, Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. Madam President, so it's going to be the same way we did the summer
SLI?
leadership?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's virtual right now still. So just let her know by tomorrow. And that concludes everything else. We will need to go into closed session for item 7 pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discussing personnel, the personnel report, and updates including new hires, resignations, and administrative appointments. At this time, we will go into closed session at 6:47 p.m. We are reconvening into open session at 7:36 PM. Is there a motion for closed session items, personnel report?
I move we approve the personnel report as discussed in closed session.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll start with Mr. Diaz.
Aye.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Ms. Canoyer?
Suzanne Canoyer, aye.
Ms. King?
Shatanya King, aye.
Ms. Eaton?
Deborah Eaton, aye.
Ms. Perez?
Lynette Perez, aye.
Renee Pichelle, aye. Motion passes unanimously. And if there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:37.